Good evening, YouTube. This is Kayla Strength coming at you with my regular Sunday night dinner. Oops, sorry about that. Gonna silence that one real quick. There we go. Anyway, there's Angry Blacksmith and Pete in the house. Thanks for dropping in. This is a U.S. First Strike Ration Menu 5. And this is the one that Art from foreignemery.com opened up but did not eat any of it. It was a giveaway, and a viewer named Dan Kuhn won it, but he forwarded this thing on to me. So that is why I have it instead of him. So that was very generous of him. But I'm only going to do one meal out of this. You know, the most interesting parts of this ration. So I will show you. It had tuna in it, but I will confess I ate the tuna a few days ago for lunch. But there's something in here that I have never had. Well, this is the orange. This is the orange beverage powder in the shaker bag. That will go into the drinking jar. And then this is a chocolate protein drink powder. I have had the Australian version. I have a South African version of this, one of their protein drink powders, but I have not mixed it yet. There is Mike in the house. Thanks for dropping in. But this is the chocolate one. I've had the vanilla. And then I have another glass. It will go in here. And these First Strike rations do not have a hot drink in them. So I'm going to have me some G7 coffee. And that will go into the Foreign Emery mug. And let's see what else is in here. Cinnamon applesauce. Usually it's just the normal applesauce, but this is the cinnamon, and it's in, I guess you could call it a bottle pouch, or you just rip this off and you basically drink it like you would, say, if you would drink out of one of these bags. Let's see, Chris is here. Quint is here. Thanks for dropping in. So it's a cinnamon applesauce. Teriyaki beef stick, and as you can tell by the shape of it, it is around like a fat Slim Jim. And this is a filled French toast. I had another one of these that I actually ate for my breakfast Friday morning. Let's see. Toasted corn nuggets, but this is not the same as the corn nuts. This is the lighter, airier version. Not so tough. It's a different texture altogether. This is a chocolate chip toaster pastry. Usually you see the brown sugar cinnamon ones, or the maple brown sugar, or whatever the heck it is. And I have a few of those in my big box of stuff. But I've never seen this flavor in a ration, so. Bridgeford, the second Bridgeford product. This is a shelf-stable sandwich, honey barbecue chicken. And then the last item in the bag is the best flavor of the First Strike bars. This is a mini Cran raspberry. So the only thing that will need really any preparation are the drinks. Although I am thinking of doing a little something with this filled French toast. I'm going to go ahead and open up this protein drink powder. There is Sunshine Side of Life 77 in the house. Thanks for dropping in. And I'll just use the ration bag as my trash bag, which I do. Now I got my big pink bottle because I will need the extra amount of water. Definitely smells like, it smells like a vitamin drink. I can smell the protein ingredient in here mixed in with the chocolate. This calls for 8 ounces of water. There's a lot of powder in here, so the fill line is up here where you would almost think like the 10-ounce line might be. I'm using really cold water. I just took this out of my fridge not too long ago. Now I'm just going to let that set. See, this is a 12-ounce line on the orange drink powder. If I put the two together, you see how close the 8-inch line is to the, in fact, they're almost identical because the protein powder had so much more powder in it. See, the powder here is only up to here, whereas the protein powder is like halfway up the bag. This thing didn't rip very well, but I can still open it. But I am going to mix this one in the drinking jar. I'm just giving this a mix. This almost looks like it might be a peach drink to me. On camera, when I'm looking at my phone screen, it looks more orange. But when I'm looking at it with just my eyes, it looks almost like it might be a peach drink. Now, these are notorious for taking a long time to dissolve. So that will get a stir later. You've seen me open up this G7 3-in-1 coffee before. It's originally from Vietnam. Let's see, I'm going to see who else has checked in before I go get... Jay is in the house, thanks for dropping in. Scrolling back through the chat, seeing if anyone else has dropped in. Just a little bit crooked. There we go. Now I'm going to go get my hot water for my coffee, and I'll be right back. I poured it off camera so I wouldn't give you all a steam bath. I'm going to get the kettle back in the kitchen. Yeah, for those who missed the Ration Museum stream earlier today, Sean opened up something very, very unique and a very awesome addition to his collection. In fact, he has two of them. One, he took out all of the items, and the other, he just checked, he opened the lid and saw that there are a couple of differences in between the two, but you'll have to watch the beginning of the stream. So it's one's his longer ones. He didn't do any photography today. He opened up packages of new items that have come in. Booger Butt and Booger Butt are in the house. And Dan, this is your ration. Well, maybe I should say it was. Yeah, he opened up a few packages. So now I'm going to go ahead and start opening up some of these other things. These bags don't have a tear notch, so I'm just going to get the cheaters. Just because I can. I'm going to go ahead and put those right there because they will take up a good amount of space. See, this is what the corn nuggets look like. They're different than the corn nuts. And they're still whole kernels of corn, but they're treated differently. This is a First Strike bar, the mini Cran raspberry. These are awesome. I'm going to just put that little thing right there. This is a shelf-stable sandwich. Flick the... Well, this is almost going to break in half, but I'm going to be breaking it in half anyway. So I'm going to put that right there. Let's see, will the teriyaki beef stick be naked inside here, or will it be double wrapped? I can't really tell yet. Well, it's double wrapped. This one is going to take a little bit more work to open up, but I'm I'm getting there. Definitely smells kind of sweet, like a teriyaki should. There we go. Actually, I'll just go ahead and put that right there. Let's see, I see Puppy Breath is in the house, and Aletha is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Now I'm going to open up the toaster pastry, and this is chocolate chip. And this was not double wrapped. So I can already tell that it's just going to break apart. But that's okay. Oh, that one just has a chocolate drizzle on top. See, what I first showed was the bottom side of it. So that's the top side. And for the applesauce, these are always a bit looser than your normal applesauce. By the way, I still have the chocolate protein shake. It's still hanging out in the pouch. I'm going to get a bowl to squirt this into so you can better see what it looks like. Out in the field, you would just rip this part off right here and then just literally suck it out. See how loose and runny that is? Basically like baby food. Because it's cinnamon, it's a little darker. The only thing I have not yet opened was the filled French toast. These are all 2019 pack dates on here. Let's see how this one looks. There you go. That is French toast. Now this here is the protein drink. I'm a little below the line, but that's done on purpose because I want to have enough room to literally shake it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and pour out what I have in here. I'll just slide the tray over a little bit. So I put the mouth of the bag inside the glass, that way when I do that, it doesn't spray all over. There's still quite a bit of stuff in there. Let's see. What that looks like in there. Well, sort of. So this needs, I'm going to put a little bit more water inside the bag to salvage. Oops, sorry about that. To salvage the rest of the mix. And that will do for that. And I'll just, I'll give it a good mix. You can see it's still hanging onto my spork. Just reposition this. I'm going to give my orange drink another mix too. Let's see, someone else has slid in. DeCarlos Perry is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. This is the First Strike Ration Menu 5 from 2019. This is a barbecue chicken shelf-stable sandwich, a teriyaki beef stick. This is a filled French toast, a chocolate chip Pop-Tart, cinnamon applesauce, and I got a Cran raspberry mini First Strike bar. This is corn nuggets, but not the corn nuts. And back here I have an orange drink, and this is the chocolate protein shake. And then here is some coffee that I just pulled from my bag of G7 3-in-1. That's my go-to camp coffee. I apologize for the shakiness of my phone mount, but oops, it kind of shifted. There we go. But this is almost everything that was in the ration, minus the incidental stuff like the rear roll, the gum, and the spoon, the accessory things. And there was a pack of tuna, a lemon pepper tuna, but I ate that for lunch a few days ago. But anyway, since this sandwich is about to break in half, I'm going to go ahead and break it in half. This bit of the bread just kind of hanging weird. It definitely looks like a barbecue something. I got this from Dan Kuhn, who won this from foreignemery.com. The bread has absorbed the barbecue sauce, but the flavor gets sort of spread into the bread. So the sandwich is quite dry, and the chicken is finely processed. There's Robert in the house. Thanks for dropping in. But it's still not bad. I bet some guys or women in the field will probably take this and put it on a hot surface to warm it. Or just lay it out in the hot sun if that's where they were eating this ration. And the teriyaki beef stick, it's quite greasy. See how shiny it is. Although I don't taste a whole lot of teriyaki. I almost pick up like a soy sauce flavor. I can smell the sweetness, but I don't taste as much. So I think they kind of missed it on the part, and it's very, very soft. I mean, I can squeeze it. It's almost as soft as a hot dog. It's not as firm like a Slim Jim, But still not bad. You can see how shiny my fingertips are. I'm going to take a drink of the orange. Typical artificial orange flavor. Of course, I'll finish it. Now this is a cinnamon applesauce. See how thin that is. Definitely strong cinnamon flavor. So if people don't like all that much cinnamon, then they might not like that, but I do. I'm breaking open the Pop-Tart. See how thin it is? You really don't pick out individual chocolate chips because they've all melted. But having a chocolate chip Pop-Tart, actually, you don't even see this very well, do you? There we go. Let's see is that's okay. You know, you came in, so that's fine. Yeah, we had a little rain a couple of different times here in Des Moines today. In fact, my power got knocked off twice. And the second time while the Ration Museum stream was on. I'll fix it a little crooked. There we go. And so I switched back to my hotspot. And so I ran that until a while after the power came back on. But I got it ready, plugged into a power bank that's aimed at my slider. It's a solar power bank. Similar to one like this. That way it pulls a little light from there. Let's see, the high today. Looks like 87 so far has been our high here in Des Moines. And there's still a thunderstorm watch. I mean, it's 87 right now. So there's a possibility we could get some more. Yep. No, I don't want to give feedback. Yeah, I'm going to this probably won't focus on here. Almost focus. 70% chance of rain tonight. So earlier this afternoon when it rained a second time, I moved my plants away from the front of my deck because they already got a good drink this morning. So I don't think they need any more. In fact, after this morning's rain, I emptied the trays or plates or lids or whatever I'm using to catch the water that comes out from the bottoms of the pots so they wouldn't get waterlogged. So I dumped that out. This looks like it's still got a bit of a head, like as if it was a beer or something. This is a chocolate protein drink. Even with that extra mixing, these do not mix very well. I shook it and I mixed it. I can still taste the powder. There is the original source of this ration, Art and or Nina from fornemery.com. Art, I think you might recognize this one. That's your opening. Yep, this is the one that you sent to Dan, and then, or you were going to send it to Dan, but then he had you send it to me. So, I ate the tuna for you. I had that for lunch a few days ago. So this is pretty much the rest of it. Plus coffee that I added. Now these are corn nuggets. Now that was a super chat that Art dropped, by the way, when he said hi to everybody. I do appreciate the super chats. So these are lighter in color than the corn nuts. Might be hard to focus this, but this is what it looks like on the inside. May not focus, but sometimes the corn nuts can literally be hollow on the inside, but these are not. I suppose sometimes they can be hollow too, but they're They're lighter in texture, lighter in color. Almost like they're fried instead of baked. Oh, DeCarlos Perry dropping the super chat. I do appreciate that. So it's much appreciated when you drop those super chats. Now I'm gonna, this filled French toast is pretty thick. So even the thicker part of the chicken sandwich is thinner than this. But I'm gonna go ahead and break this open. This one looks like it's not very full of the, the filling is very thin. Yeah, even breaking it this way, the filling is very thin. So the bread is really thick on this one. Sometimes you can get more filling, sometimes not. Whoa, I think there's a super chat battle going on. Oops, sorry about that. Oh, this thing wants to dip. There we go. Now, I don't want anybody going broke over these super chats. I do appreciate it, but, it's not a mandatory thing. I do have the channel membership thing open, if anybody wants to do that, but, I just don't beg it. I see Carla has slid in. Thanks for dropping in. This is First Strike Ration Menu 5. A barbecue chicken sandwich. It's thinner than the filled French toast, but has more filling. But this is very dry. If I heated this up, put some syrup on it, then it would taste a whole lot like a French toast should. And this is a very soft teriyaki beef stick, but it smells more like it than it tastes. Oh, she still might sneak one in, you never know. Never heard of that. I've heard of Italian ice. I've had some of the popsicle type things, but not in a long time, but they are pretty good. A new viewer. My nose is long. He was in the Ration. He or she was in the Ration Museum stream earlier today, so I do thank you for dropping in. Yep, this is the First Strike Ration Menu 5. And it says chocolate chip Pop-Tart, but see, the chocolate is just like a single line. Any chips would have all melted during the baking process, and then they put this skimpy little drizzle of chocolate on top. So when you bite it, you don't pick up any individual chocolate chips. Now this protein shake, what I've seen others do, if I get this next time, instead of actually making it into a drink, only put a little bit of water in there and basically turn it into a pudding. I just gave it another stir. And it doesn't all dissolve. And thanks for dropping in, Robert. Glad you came in. I do this every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Now here is Cranberry, Cran Raspberry First Strike bar. I love these things. This is the mini. The full size one will be double this, pretty much. Of course, each one you get it's a random shape what it's going to be. Oh yes, these are. So I do have a few of them in my box of goodies. Now the apple cinnamon doesn't quite have the same texture as the other three flavors, the chocolate, the mocha, and this one. It has more of a cereal bar texture. Than the other three. That's my least favorite, but I still do enjoy them. They're still a good on-the-go bar for if you're taking a longer walk or you're hiking to a campsite or whatever. Or you're just on the run and you don't have time to eat a full meal. You got time to eat one of these, and that'll keep you going for a while. Now this is cinnamon applesauce. I put it in a bowl so you see what it looks like. It's darker. And the cinnamon flavor is very strong in it, which I like. Some people may not. It's kind of like the consistency of baby food. Yeah, there you go. Sneak them in in your hospital bag. And only pull them out when no one's looking. Even though this is dry, this barbecue chicken sandwich is actually not that bad. I like that it has a lot of filling in it. That's okay, Pete. Sometimes you just gotta be silly. Yeah, lightens the mood. You can brighten someone's day. Yep, that's right. And this past year and a half has proven that. I mean, I go whenever I go see my doctor for whatever reason, I'm always cracking jokes, teasing the nurse about, you know, when she's checking my vitals, asking her if since, say, she takes my blood pressure, and I said, so since I have a blood pressure, I guess that means I'm still alive, just stuff like that. Just goofy stuff like that. I was actually supposed to go see my doctor this past Friday, but, I missed a bus. And I was telling the person when I called my doctor's office, I said, I missed a bus by the length of a hypodermic syringe. She got a good laugh out of that. And I wouldn't have been able to get there because I would have had to wait too long. So now I have to wait till the 30th. Although I may call and ask if there's another chance that I could get in before then, but I seriously doubt it, but that's okay. I was just going to ask for a cocktail shot in my right knee anyway. Yeah, I used to help do inventory when I worked in retail. I first did it at Burlington Coat Factory, but they also bring in an outside group that specifically does inventory, and we just help them in addition to our regular duties. And so they're watching us as we were actually selling items. Say I'm working in the children's clothing area, and a customer buys a baby outfit, and one of the inventory group members sees that, then that particular one gets knocked off their tally. To a lesser extent, I was doing that at Walgreens, but we did all that ourselves. We didn't have, or maybe a couple people, but they're from Walgreens, not an outside company that would come in specifically to do inventories, and then they go to another store. Of course, Walgreens is a much smaller store than Burlington Coat Factory. Let's see, Quint is leaving. Thanks for dropping in. Glad you made it. Oh, Harshman Hills, first time seeing you in here. Thanks for dropping in. What you're looking at is the First Strike Ration Menu 5. I already rated the tuna, the lemon pepper tuna out of it earlier, and I just had the rest out here. Plus the coffee, which I added from my stash. It's a G7 3-in-1 coffee. No earworms here, but I wonder if they'd make good fishing bait. Teriyaki beef stick. Smells more like teriyaki than tastes like it, but it's soft like a hot dog, not hard like Slim Jim. Just a bit of a snap when you bite into it. This is a mini Cran Raspberry First Strike bar. And these are the best flavor of the 4 First Strike bar flavors. It's got a good blend of the cranberry and raspberry. My favorite used to be the mocha, and I still love that one, but this even tops that. And this is the barbecue chicken sandwich. This is cinnamon applesauce. Or maybe I should call it baby food. The corn nuggets that are not the corn nuts. They're not as hard as the corn nuts, and they're not as big. And supposed to be a chocolate chip Pop-Tart, but I don't pick up any individual chocolate chips because they just pretty much melted when they bake them, and they put a cheesy drizzle on there. And these protein shakes, they don't mix up no matter how long you do it. I shook it. I poured it into here. I put more water in the bag to get the rest of the stuff out. And then I mixed it a couple of times. I still give on here making that into a pudding, only putting a little bit of water in there. Oop. Oh, I almost froze there for a second when I was grabbing my orange drink. And the typical artificial orange. It's fine. I drink it. And this filled French toast is thicker than the chicken sandwich, but the filling is very thin. So they kind of blew it on this one. Oh, that's good that you have access to that. We have that here in Des Moines. I just ride city buses because a bus goes right by the property that my doctor's office is on, so that's an easy do. I have to switch buses though. Yeah, because it did dissolve. These take a lot longer to dissolve. That's why that is one of the first things I usually do is mix the cold drink to give it time. And in case you're wondering what that is right there. That's actually part of my phone mount. And the way I'm set up in here, I can't position it right to get rid of that. Well, I guess your town is too small, Art. But DART is pretty good here. In fact, I'm on the DART, the Transit Riders Advisory Committee. I had my first meeting on in January, and we meet every 2 months. So far, we've been doing it on Zoom. That's okay. You know, you're still here. Yeah, and I'm sure that's a bit of a drive from where you're at. Yeah, if I didn't have access to a bus because I don't drive, I would have to have a driver. See, that looks like the color of a corn nut. So that one got a little extra cooking. But it still had the same texture as the rest of these. And now it tasted like it was it was cooked a little longer. Well, Latha, you could always go to Cedar Rapids or Iowa City. That might Pete, you might have to take an intercity bus or some other way if you don't drive to get there. But lately on YouTube, I've been seeing Trailways bus ads. Well, that's a good. I'll just call you Nose, like others did in the Ration Museum stream, but. Well, hopefully she will do some good things while she's in the Army. I had a cousin who was in the Air Force, and she was a fighter jet mechanic for all the time that she was in. And when she took the test to get that position, she tested a lot better than most of the guys. Yeah, she kicked their butts. Wow, that's nuts. Well, the town of Marshalltown here in Iowa got shredded by a tornado a few years ago, and then when the derecho hit last year, that town took some more damage. Oh, that's a pretty good long service to be in the Army. My cousin, I think, was only in the Air Force less than 15 years. I never did find out what she did as career-wise after she got out of the Air Force. But she was stationed at the Eglin Air Base in Florida. Yeah, I've seen some of the images, and I've seen some videos here on YouTube from others who posted about what it looked like in their particular area. And there was one that I saw where it looked like some of the trees are swaying like palm trees do during a hurricane. Yep. My step-grandpa on my mom's side, he is my grandmother's second husband. He was in the Air Force during World War II, and then he got out of that, and then he went to the Vietnam War in the Army. So he was in the infantry. So at that time, he saw ground combat. And then I had another cousin on my mom's side who was in the Army. And I think there was one on my dad's side who was in the military, but I don't know a whole lot about that. I don't know a whole lot about my dad's side of the family. We got more documentation on my mom's side. But I don't know of any other relatives other than those that I've mentioned who were actually in. The closest to it, I suppose, would be my one sister who works for the TSA. She started out as a security screener at the airport and then moved up into a mid-management, so she was at a different office, but sometimes went to the airport. But she is actually wanting to downgrade in order to reduce her stress level, but she still wants to stay in it because when she retires from the TSA, she'll get a killer IPERS. You missed a nap, Aletha? Well, if you're working your dupa too hard, you can't take a nap when you're working. I'm surprised you're still awake and not flopping somewhere. Sorry, this table shakes. I actually use a camp table as my main table because it's a lot bigger than the wood TV tray that I used to use. See, I got this because I can spread out. It's light, I can maneuver it. And if I do have to take it somewhere, because it's a camp table, I can fold it up and go. See, I'm going to try something with this I'm dipping the filled French toast in the applesauce. Oh, that definitely adds a little moisture to this bread. But the cinnamon flavor definitely takes over the maple flavor of the French toast. Maybe I'll just call it a maple sandwich. Yeah, I don't watch a whole lot of movies. For one thing, I don't own a TV. I had two in the last place that I lived, but then because I had my services bundled through a company which will remain nameless because I can't stand them. I have my they're doing my Verizon billing, my internet billing, and my TV service billing. And they cut off one account, even though I was paying the bill every month. Then they would cut off another one, and I was left with just the internet. And then they were throttling me. Even though I was paying the bill, they were cutting me off. So I thought, well, screw that nonsense. So I tried them here, but I just kept going back to Mediacom because I got faster speed. I wasn't getting throttled. I'm actually getting more for a better price than I am with those other nutheads. So I stick with Mediacom because I can't have a satellite dish here because my apartment faces north. Plus we got trees that would block part of the signal, even if I was allowed to have a dish mounted on the side of the building, because I am in an end unit. I have never tried the Fire Stick. My computer, I actually have 3 computers here. And at one time, all 3 of them worked. The laptop was a used one, but the person who rebuilt it could only put Windows XP on it, and we know how long that was out of date. So that one won't boot up anymore. In fact, it won't even turn on. And I keep it plugged in all the time. And I could get it to turn on, but it wouldn't fully boot up. But I was using it literally to keep my Kindle Fire charged up, because that's what I watch videos on. For one thing, it has a bigger screen. And my Bluetooth keyboard, I can kind of use it like a computer. Oh, I've heard some nasty stuff about Sparklight from some other channels. But, so now that thing won't boot up. My my older computer, which had Windows Vista, that one, I think that one is corrupted somehow. And that was going to be my backup to my Rrview Dell that has Windows 10 on it, but it won't load. It powers up, but it won't boot up. So it's basically a glorified power bank. Ooh, ouch. Oh, wow. That is some nasty stuff. I'm glad you lived to tell about that one. Yeah, I liked Windows Vista too. There are some things about 10 that I didn't like, but it was all that was available when I bought that Rrview. I basically got like about 6 years out of it before it finally pooped out. Nailing bread. Oh, making bread. Oh, mailing bread? Oh, believe it or not, I had that actually happen to me when I was working customer service at a door company that was started here in Des Moines, but then it got bought up by another company, and apparently some guy up in Minnesota thought I provided good service, and just casual chit chat. I was telling him about a trip I had taken up to St. Cloud, and a monastery up there bakes bread as a way to as a business to support their the guys who live there. And I got some of that bread while I was up there, and then this guy sent me 6 loaves. Literally shipped me 6 loaves of bread. And everybody in that office just went bonkers when they saw me open that box. So I shared some with my coworkers. And then I kept the rest. I put some in the freezer. So, yeah, I was eating that bread for quite a bit of time. But it was different flavors, different varieties. So, yeah, that was good. So, yeah, I had bread shipped to me once. Well, it goes, I suppose, more than once when that Australian CR1M, the bread out of that is awesome. Oh, Dan, there are some monasteries and the convents that do brew beer in this country and in other countries. So it just depends on where that particular monastery is located, what they choose to do or what they are able to do. Some have working farms. Some make products from supplies that, raw materials that they acquire and sell those. And some will do bookbinding service. The people send them books that they pay them to rebind. James in the house. Thanks for dropping in. This is the first strike ration that Dan Kuhn had sent to me. Menu 5. Dan won it from Foreign MRE. This is the one that Art opened on camera and did not eat. And so that became a giveaway prize. So Dan won it, but he had it sent to me. The only thing missing, as far as food-wise, is the tuna, and I rated that earlier in the last week and had it for lunch. But this is a chocolate protein shake. These never mix up well, even if you shake the living crap out of them. So, as I said earlier, next time I get one of these, I'm going to do what some others have tried and just put a little bit of water in it and make it a pudding. It'll concentrate the flavor and you won't leave a quarter of it in the side of your glass. But this, your typical orange drink, chocolate chip Pop-Tart, but it's just a solid thin line of chocolate filling. Any chocolate chips melted during the baking process. Usually it's the brown sugar Pop-Tart that you get in these. This is a barbecue chicken sandwich. It's thinner than the filled French toast, but they kind of blew it on the filling because there isn't much. And this is Cinnamon's applesauce. You know, the corn nuggets, but not the corn nuts. And Cran raspberry mini First Strike bar. The best flavor out of the First Strike bars. And the coffee, First Strike rations don't get hot drinks, but this is G7, 3-in-1. Ever since I got introduced to that a couple years ago at the first Iowa YouTuber meetup, this has been my go-to camp coffee. I actually had some of the Folgers coffee bags. You do it like a tea bag, but I finished those off here at home instead of saving them for a camp trip, but because I like my coffee blonde and sweet, I like having a 3-in-1. That way I don't have to take separate creamer and sugar. This also had the teriyaki beef stick, which was, it looked more like a hot dog. It was soft like a hot dog and not hard like a Slim Jim. It wasn't jerky, it was the soft beef stick. It smelled more like teriyaki than tasted like it. Ooh, ouch, James. Yossi was saying that he's got to go in for an exam soon because he fell. So he's going to get some x-rays, so hopefully that won't be too hard for him to heal from. He mentioned that in the Ration Museum stream, so if you missed that, yeah. Yossi got himself into a little medical trouble. So hopefully he will have a complete recovery from that little mishap. Oh, that's a bugger. Well, Chris, this is a new week. Hopefully things will keep getting better. I dipped the, I'll call it maple sandwich, in the applesauce, but the cinnamon overpowers the maple flavor, but it takes out some of the dryness of the bread. Oh, Robert Williams in the house. Thanks for dropping in. First time seeing you here. I see another Robert, but that's a different one. But I do this every Sunday, 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern. This is a first strike ration. It's a 24-hour ration meant to be eaten on the run, or in situations where you have little to no time to prep food. Only prep that would be required would be mixing your drink. No hot drink, so I've added my own coffee in my foreign MRE mug. And I use my foreign MRE sport to mix them. And of course, and for the applesauce is a little bit looser than regular applesauce because it comes in a pouch that you literally pull a little bit off and you suck it, almost drink it. So it's like the consistency of baby food. And this one, the cinnamon flavor is very strong. So you got shelf-stable sandwich. This is barbecue chicken. This is a filled French toast, although not filled very well. And this is corn nuggets. They're not the same as corn nuts. They're lighter, airier. So for some, they'll be easier to chew. Well, that's good, Carla. Hopefully they'll work out. My mom has had issues with dentures for quite some time. She's on her third set. And this is a Cran Raspberry First Strike bar. This is the mini version. The full-size version would be double this. And then something I've never seen in a ration before. This is supposed to be a chocolate chip Pop-Tart, but it's just one solid line of the thin chocolate filling and a little hint of a drizzle. The chocolate chips melt during the baking process, so I might dip this in the applesauce just for the heck of it. All these bread things are very dry, but dipping that in this applesauce, I didn't get a whole lot of the applesauce on that bit of the Pop-Tart, but a little bit does help cut the dryness. No, I don't know anything about bourbon. You know, I don't do alcohol. I don't even store it, except for the isopropyl alcohol. That's the only kind I'll store. Since I don't drink it, and with me being a Muslim, I don't do alcohol. When I did my grocery haul earlier this month, I said that I did not pick up the Campbell's sauce pouch that had the chicken marsala, because marsala is a kind of wine. Some people drink it, some people cook with it. So I left that one there. And then there was another one that had a pork flavoring, so I left that one there. And I got one of each of the others. some are, they say for oven, some say for crock pot, but I'm going to have a little different fun with those. Oh, the only shot I care about getting next is a cocktail shot in my right knee. That's the only shot I want right now. But I have to wait till the 30th to try to get my doctor to do it. I have no cartilage in my right knee, so getting one of those cocktail shots every few months does help. But eventually I will have to get the hardware. Let's see, and scroll back. I was just seeing what she wrote. Yeah, that's a bummer, Carla. But you know, we all got your back. You know, everybody has to go through this. I lost my dad back in '08. So, ever since then, Father's Day has pretty much been just a day. Although one of my sisters did post a picture of my dad on Facebook. And so I nipped that picture. That, you know, that was one of the best pictures of him that I'd seen in quite some time. I got pictures, but they're the hard form, either in one or more of my photo albums that I have or my photo box. I got a box that's just chock full of pictures and negatives. But I didn't have one in a digital form, so when my sister put up that picture of my dad earlier on Facebook today, I decided I'm going to nip it. Oh, yeah, you know, when that's the way it was with my dad, because he only lived a month after his initial cancer diagnosis. So we suspect either it had been festering for years and he just didn't know it, or it was just that aggressive. But he held on until he accomplished all the things that he wanted to accomplish. He was contacting certain people and having certain things done. So that all got done before he passed. And it happened to be on Veterans Day of '08. Yeah, my dad did not serve, but we had relatives who have served. And so he held a special place in his heart for people who did serve, especially relatives that, and he had friends who did. So it just happened to work out that he died on Veterans Day, and I was working at the time, so I cut off my client visit. I called the office that I was working out of and said, this could be it. My dad could be passing, so I hauled tail, but I got there too late. But, you know, I have the memories of him, and I'm, you know, those thinking about him, just, you know, different times when I go to his favorite lake. There's a bench out there with his name on it, so we go to that specific area when we go to that lake. So I'll be going back there the first week of August. We fish, we stay in the cabins. We just have a good time. Although, you know, it's not the same without him, but, you know, we do have a good time when we're out there. And my great niece has really taken to fishing, so my dad would have enjoyed seeing that. So I'm going to take the... Yep, at Lake Icaria in Adams County near the town called Corning, there are benches that ring the lake. And because it's a county campground, the county maintains it instead of the Iowa DNR. And they put benches out there, and you can pay a certain amount of money to have a name put on that bench. And that helps support the operation of the park, you know, maintaining the lake, as well as the camp fees that you pay when you go there. In fact, we not only reserved for this summer, but late last year, one of my sisters already put in for 2022. Because that place has been in such a high demand, like a lot of campgrounds and parks I'm sure are. It's such high demand that if you want a specific spot, you probably have to reserve 2 or 3 years in advance in order to get that spot when you want it. So we've got it booked for this summer and next summer, so we are good on that. And my dad, even though he taught us kids a good amount, I guess at the time, you know, when I was young, I was not taught certain things when I was a kid, like how to run a lawnmower. Of course, I was the fourth of 5, so for the most part, I was either too young or I was too busy with school stuff, because I was in a lot of extracurricular activities in school. Just having a drink of my coffee. You know, I was taking school-sponsored trips. And in some places, when we lived at 2 different camps, when I was in high school, my parents were both working at the YMCA camp that's outside of Boone, Iowa. And it's actually close to the Ledges State Park, which I've been to a couple of times. The first time I had my senior pictures taken there in 1984. And then the second time in 2017, I camped there with a group of people. So that was fun. I haven't been back there since, but we used to go there when we lived at the Y camp. We would go there on my parents' off days when there weren't any groups using the camp. So we'd just go into the ledges, just do whatever we were doing there. Walk the trails. We never camped there as a family. We just went there for a day trip. Since it was so handy, you only pay if you camp there. If you're just going there for the day, if you're just going to hike the trails, and you just go and do it. But when my dad had some small building projects, I would help him out with that, because in high school I took shop classes. I had an interest in that. So I did help out with that. And then when I was in college, my parents were at a Girl Scout camp on a lake called Lake Ouachita, and that's it's about 50 or so miles from the town of Hot Springs. Oh, awesome, Aletha. I'm glad you get to do that. And I should be taking an overnight trip with a couple others from here later this month. And it's a short hiking trip where we will have to it's about a quarter mile or so from the parking lot to the campsite. So it's a different place than where I went a week ago not this past Wednesday, but the Wednesday before. And all three of us came back with a crap ton of ticks. The trails there had not been cut, so it was very hard to walk through. I mean, the grass is almost as tall as, in some spots are almost as tall as high as I had my trekking poles. The place where we had deer steaks, well, Redbird 491, she brought a beef steak because she really doesn't eat deer meat. But Tack and I ate the deer steaks. Well, that's a little bit more than what we've paid just for a spot where you can put a tent or a hammock. And now Iowa state parks are permitting hammocks, whereas before they did not allow hammocks, although I'm sure some people did. just didn't get caught. But yeah, they allow they allow hammocks. I guess as long as you use tree straps to hang from. Well, that's actually not too bad. Where I've camped before, it's been like between $11 and $15 a night. I have my little USB fan. It doesn't have an internal battery that you charge up. You just have to plug it directly into either a power bank, or I have it plugged into one of the USB ports on my computer, so it runs off that. But if I wanted to, I could put it in my pack and just plug it into my power bank and have that running. It only has one speed though, so I mean it's just a small thing, but it does a job of moving it around. But that's the only portable fan I have. Yeah, that's like, that'd be like Lake Icaria or, let's see, the Ledges is a state park, and Lake Miami is, oops, I got interrupted there, just has a slight disconnect. See, Lake Miami is, I think that's a state park, and then Thomas Mitchell is a county park that's right outside of Des Moines. Then Lake McBride is, I think that's a county park, but I don't remember. I'd have to ask Johnny, Prepping Life. He lives near there, so he frequents that place. But I can't remember if that's a state park or a county one. Yeah, I would agree there. There's nothing better than open fire cooking. And when I was at the Woodburn section of that state forest, that we hiked to, someone had left firewood there at that particular spot that has enough room for several tents and hammocks. But we just had our lunch there. We cooked that over a small fire, and just used the fire ring that was already there. So that's handy to have those there. I just took another drink of this protein drink. But because it was already so hot, we only needed enough fire to cook on. And that was it. Yeah, that's a bummer. I wish there were places that were accessible by bus that I could just go when I want. But if I go down, and we got our biggest city park that I know of is Waterworks, because it's on the Raccoon River. It gets that name because it's right next to the water treatment plant. Well, that is awesome, Mike, that you have access to your own little spot to go hide. Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to bump that again. Yeah, that thing shakes because it's just a big old clip with a flexible arm. So again, I do apologize for all the shaking going on. But it's just the way it is here. Wow, that is awesome. You can pick a different spot every time you go out. Of course, if someone takes me down there, I go to the Brahms property and camp there. And in fact, I think there's going to be a second visit there this year. Yeah, that's Mila. But yeah, she's meowing. I'm not sure where she took off to. She's probably, I just heard her meow. I just didn't see where she was. Oh, she's actually by the door. Apparently, she heard a noise. But there's only 6 people living in this building. And it's a Sunday, so there's hardly any activity. Mila. Mila. What's on your little kitty mind, Mila? Well, now she's going to look out the slider, I think. Oop. Get that back in there. So there was your little bit of kitty porn. And Mila will be 18 in October. Well, I see another new face. Mel Mel in the house. How you done those upside down knees? I don't know, but it's pretty cool. But I do thank you for dropping in. I do these live ration review streams every Sunday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. And what you're looking at is part of what's called a first strike ration. I raided the lemon pepper tuna last week for lunch. But yeah, this was sent to me by Dan Kuhn, who won it from foreignemery.com. So this is the barbecue chicken sandwich, or what's left of it. These are pieces of a filled French toast, but they kind of missed on the filling. Cinnamon applesauce. Cran raspberry first strike bar. These are my favorite of these. Corn nuggets, but they're not corn nuts. They're a lighter, airier version. And orange drink. And a protein shake that doesn't mix up very well. It's still drinkable. I'll finish it. And then the packet said chocolate chip toaster pastry, but all the chocolate chips melted during the baking, so it's a chocolate filled Pop-Tart. There was a teriyaki beef stick that basically looked like a hot dog, but I already finished that one off. And these rations don't come with coffee, so I got some of my G7. Mila is still talking. Yeah, my foam mount shakes. It's just a clamp style with a flexible arm. And it's on a camp table. So this is not as wobbly as it was when I was using a wood TV tray, because that thing wobbles even more than this camp table does. But I got this because I wanted something about this size but portable in case I had to take it somewhere or I had to move it for whatever reason. My table that I made in a shop class has my microwave on it because I don't have enough kitchen counter space for that. Small apartment, so you got to do what you got to do. But so far this is working for me. The cinnamon is pretty strong in this applesauce, but I like it, some may not. But if I have any of this left after I close out the stream, it gets finished off. And after all, this is my dinner. No music here. There's nothing going on in the park across the street. Plus, I have my slider closed and I got my air conditioner running. I don't like having music of any kind in my videos or streams because I don't want to get a strike, even if it's something that is supposedly copyright free or public domain. I still don't want to use it. I'm just that cautious about it. Plus, that's just not how I want to do my videos or streams. I just rather keep all that extra fluff out. Now, thanks for dropping in, Mike. Hopefully you'll be able to come back next week. So I will have something, I'll have my Arctic field ration, the mystery one that I got last month from Minotaur Trading Company, the golden ticket box. I will have that one next Sunday. That's in the lineup. And right now, the ration that I got from Booger Butt, right now I have that at the end of my lineup. I use a ration case box to organize my rations, put them in the order that I'm going to get into them. And I'm mixing it up. Like I put freeze-dried one in between what I would call a wet pack. So I have that Minotaur Arctic field ration next Sunday, and then after that will be a USMRE. And then I got a meal cold weather coming up, and then another MRE. And then after that I have that Russian ration that comes in that cool camo box. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. Oh, wow. Are you going to be a guest on this channel? Oh, cool. I am waiting on a Minotaur order. So 2 Arctic field rations and a couple other items. Oh, sweet. Yeah, the brown bag MREs. I do want to get a couple more of those. There are some ones that I have not tried. And the one that Smokey had last night, the later version of the hot dog one. Well, let's see. I can do a sort of a sweet megabyte. Let's say we'll break off a bit of this. And I'll put that on top. So it's a Pop-Tart, there's applesauce, and a piece of the filled French toast. So how was that for a megabyte? Oh, you and Carla doing something. That should be cool. I would like to do a live with someone else, but I'm not sure how I could do StreamYard on my Kindle. I would have to do, I'd have to run the two devices so I could have the YouTube on one and the StreamYard on another. And I don't know if they would both run at the same rate, you know, if one doesn't lag the other. Oh yeah, he does some cool stuff. He does a lot of knife reviews. He does unboxings of subscription boxes. Some he pays for, some subscribers pay and then have it shipped to them. And then he reviews the items or opens them up, you know, shows them, and then he sends them on to the person's, you know, the person who actually paid for it. Like someone pays to have a battle box ship him the battle box every month. And then he opens it up on camera, and then he sends it to the person who originally paid for it. Just like the Smoky Mountain Knife Works subscription service. Someone pays to have that box sent to him. He opens it up, and then he sends it on to that person who paid for that one. So that's how he does that with some of them. Some of the others, I think he pays for, but he always says that he always says it when someone pays for a box to be sent to him. Now, the Carnivore Club, or the Carnivore box with all the different meats, like Rachel opened up a few days ago, he pays for that himself. Oh, Smoky Mountain? Oh, that would be awesome. Although that would be a dangerous place to go, if you know what I mean. Because you would want to take home so many items that you would be carrying your own body weight home. Oops, sorry about that. That was actually a little bit too low anyway, so. I just raised it up just a little bit. But it would be awesome just to go into a place like Blade HQ, Knife Center, Smoky Mountain Knife Works, any of those places, and just see the thousands of things that they would have, you know. Ooh, something happened to Puppy Breast's message. Let me, I don't know what happened to that. Oh, it just says sounds good. I don't know why that message was deleted. That should be, that should be allowed. Why would sounds good be kicked? That's not appropriate. So those bots are doing that. Yeah. Sounds good is not offensive. You're the second person who has had their greetings yanked. That happened to DeCarlos a few months ago. Yeah, those stupid bots, they're not cool. I mean, that's happened when a mod would go to boot one person but accidentally hit another. That's happened before, but when one of the bots does it, that's not cool because you can't recover that. I mean, I tapped on unhide, but that didn't restore it. That didn't bring back that deleted comment, and I'm not cool with that. Oops. Yeah, I think I've done that. I timed out the wrong person. I just missed by one line. But then, if I'm in a live chat and someone just gets modified, as I like to say, I say, if a new mod wants to practice the timeout thing, they can put me in timeout. I don't care. Consider it a practice, so they know how it works. Yeah, I can see it. So, but you're when I could see where you said sounds good, but I couldn't restore that comment. So, I tapped on unhide, so I hope that was enough. But I couldn't restore that deleted comment, which stinks. But anyway, I let new mods put me on timeout, and then when the timeout ends, I say, this is what happens, this is what I could do, and this is what I could not do. Yeah, I blocked that person too. Some have not blocked that person. So he'll show up. He shows up in the Ration stream the Ration Museum stream sometimes, but because I have him blocked, I don't see his stuff, but I keep that to myself. I don't mention that I have that person blocked. But there's some who are worse than that, who would make him seem like a baby when it comes to behavior. Like all those spam bots that put links to suspicious sites that could be porn. I reported those on someone else's video yesterday. It was the first comment, so I saw that. I just reported that comment, so hopefully that idiot will get their account yanked. That's okay. Thanks for coming out. I'm over 2 hours and 20 minutes anyway, so I'll probably go ahead and call this one good. So I'm glad you all came out. I hope you all come back next week. And again, Ration Museum stream again next week. I'm pretty sure he's going to start at the same time he did today. But if we don't catch it from the beginning, well, that's fine. But yeah, check out Rachel and Doc P. If they're going simultaneous, then I would have to have two screens on, because on one device, if I have two tabs open, I go to open the other one and it pauses the first one. So I would have to have two devices open so I can have them both going live and hear both of them. Well, that's okay. I'm going to finish all this off. And then I'll clean all this up. So again, next week, Arctic Field Ration from Minotaur Trading Company. It'll be a main that I've had before, but I may do a little something different with it than what's in the box. But I'll come back next week and see what I do. So again, I want to thank you all for dropping in. I do thank Art and Carlos for dropping the super chats. That definitely helps me either buy gear to test or to buy rations, or if I need to upgrade something to improve my video production and streaming, then that's what I do. So I do appreciate the support and all the likes and the comments. And so for those who need healing or have to have medical stuff done, I hope it all goes well. Again, thanks for watching, and catch you on the flip side.